Hello everyone and welcome to my Yelan video. I just wanted to make a few unconventional teams, something that might not be meta, but is definitely very fun to use. Some of the quirks of Yelan's passives that work well or synergize with different characters. So I have three for you. Let's get started. The first character I want to pair with Yelan is Xiao. Xiao is unique because his burst often outlasts his buffers, but Yelan buff scales over 15 seconds. This means as the primary buffs wear off, Yelan and his new artifact set will be at full ramp. The biggest thing is that Xiao plunges do not affect Yelan, so weaving in normals or his best single target DPS, which is N1C, will allow Yelan to do off-field damage. Now normally the team I'm using would have an Animo battery, so if you choose to replace the battery, expect energy issues. So I'm going to take Xiao, Yelan, and then just like a normal team comp for him, which would be Zhongli and Bennett. So just to get us started, I'm going to take the resistance bonus just to kind of see what Xiao can do with nothing. So this will only be his artifact set ramping up his damage plus his passives. So you see I had a 22, 23, 23, 24. There they go. So 25, 844 is the max. So you can see a bunch of 25, 844s there. That was the highest hit with no buffs. So now let's try that one more time, but with Yelan active. Now remember, Yelan buffs your damage over the 15 seconds. I'm not going to use Zhongli or Bennett here, but I am going to get these started. And now let's compare the damage numbers. So we're at 22 already, 23, 24. So we've already passed 26, 27, 28. So 30,000 damage was our top damage there, which is a 20% damage increase, which is pretty good. Now let's try again and let's weave some normal attacks in. And in order to do that, I'm going to take you to the second half. These targets are just a little bit bigger and don't get flopped around quite as much. So same rotation. I am going to go ahead and use Zhongli's shield this time, since we're not looking at the damage numbers, we're looking at the rotation. So you see this is N1C, or normal 1 charge. And this allows Yelan to do her off-field damage while Xiao continues to plunge. And you see we have a nice 38k there, and that's probably because of the Zhongli's shield. So you can see the immediate energy issues with this team. You can switch around the teams to kind of remedy that problem a little bit. So let me go ahead and farm up some energy particles, get everyone's burst back so we can do the rotation one more time. So give me one moment for that. Okay, let's demonstrate this one more time. Yelan burst, Xiao plunge N1C. See, we are starting off with a 30k, that's pretty nice. 45k, and then of course Yelan's pumping out a lot of DPS there as well. And the second team I want to take into consideration is Yelan supporting Eula. Now, Eula obviously wants an electro character on the field for superconduct, and I highly recommend Raiden Shogun for that purpose, as she is one of Eula's best supports, as well as a battery. You can also use Fischl or Lisa, as they're both very good characters for this role. Now, Eula's damage is very backloaded, and that's why I like Yelan as a support, because it gives Yelan time for her passive to ramp up so that Eula's Lightfall Sword at the end of her burst has much more impressive damage. So if you remember, Yelan's talent Adept with Ease basically increases your damage by 50%, ramping up 3.5% at a time. So this of course lasts for, I believe her burst lasts for 15 seconds. So that gives Eula plenty of time to ramp up her Lightfall Sword, which her burst lasts 7, so that the final burst at the end does that 50% bonus damage. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab our team comp, so Eula, Yelan, and Raiden. And then the last pick is kind of just flex. I think I'm going to grab Diona just so I can battery Eula if needed. Although I have Raiden. Alright, I'm going to grab the element of resistance so we don't have any bonus damage coming into play. And then we're just going to do a couple basic rotations. So now that Yelan's burst is active, Eula every second is dealing more and more damage, which is good for Eula because she likes having on-screen time. She spends a lot of time on screen. So I got a nice pop there for 200k. Go ahead and clean these up real quick. Let's try it one more time. Battery or Eula, or her burst is already up, so we don't have to even worry about that. Alright, try this one more time. And then same thing, we're gonna weave auto attack or normal attacks. And that triggers, oh, they didn't crit there, but that triggers Yelan's burst. Now see, maybe I should have brought Xingqiu. I don't have any energy particles for, I think I'm just gonna ride and burst here in order to kind of recharge Yelan's burst meter. I'm gonna try not to kill him. There we go, that should be plenty. Alright. So her burst is up. There we go. Let me get Eula's burst back up. There we go. And repeat the rotation. Now you're going to see a lot of damage coming out because Raiden buffs all burst damage, which means that Yelan's damage is doing even more. And also she's increasing Eula's damage. So you see quite a lot of damage coming out of Eula right now. And the pop just clears the entire screen. For my third team, I wanted to do a 4-star showcase. Now, Noelle could be replaced with Zhongli for much greater results, but I think for this one, we're just going to keep it pretty simple. My Noelle is not built at all, so she's basically just going to be a shield bot. But I think that Ningguang would pair pretty well with Yelan. Ningguang does have a lot of burst damage, and she also likes to weave in some normal and charge attacks, which will cause Yelan's burst to trigger multiple times. Alright, so let's get started with this one. Okay, so remember Yelan does best with having 4 different elements in her team, but Geo Resonance is just too good to pass up. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to put a shield on. I did not mean to press that button. Use the burst here, and then you can see Yelan is throwing out quite a good amount of damage. Honestly, so is the Ningguang. But all those blue numbers are Yelan, and then all the brownish ones are Ningguang. The shield did pop, so I don't have. Let me grab a crystallize. Get my. There we go. Let's do another full rotation on this big guy here. Chase him down, of course. And wait for some energy. Alright, shield up. Get the energy particles, and here we go. I'm going to burst. Bennett burst. There we go, and of course, and Yelan is ramping up here, and you just see absolute destruction from Ningguang. That is some impressive damage. And like I said earlier, obviously Zhongli would be much better than Noelle if you have him. Zhongli's shield shreds 20% of the geo resistance, and is just a lot beefier and longer lasting than Noelle's. He can actually have 100% uptime with his shield. So that would increase Ningguang's damage even further. Now that was just a simple showcase of the 3 teams that I think would be a little bit outside the meta, but would still be very fun to use. And before I go, I'm just going to show a couple random clips of some teams that I tested and enjoyed using. So I hope you all enjoy. See you next time.
Quietly now. These are about to get... Rain Cutter! Rain outlines your...
Midnight Phantasmal.
Animal hypostasis emulation. Absorption test.
Body and mind.
Oz reveal. enough.